Now, as a few of you know, I've seen many of the films that John Carpenter had given to us, aside from Halloween. Now, I actually do like some of the stuff he did that had a little sci-fi and horror feel, like The Thing, They Live, or well, uh, or or maybe stuff like Big Trouble in Little China or Escape from New York. But there's this one film he did that I feel like might not have gotten much love and what have you. I can see it's gotten a cult following now. So here it is. This is my review of John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars. Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Duvall, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 2001 space western action horror flick John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars, released by Screen Gems, directed, written, and scored by Carpenter himself, starring a big all-star cast including Natasha Henstridge, Ice Cube, Jason Statham in one of the first films I ever got introduced to him by. Actually, this was the first film I got introduced to him before even the Transporter was even released. Plus Pam Grier, Clea Duvall, and Joanna Cassidy. This film is set on a colonized Mars in the 22nd century, and the film follows a squad of police officers and a convicted criminal who fight against the residents of a mining colony who have been possessed by the ghosts of the planet's original inhabitants. The film was released on August 24, 2001. Although this film gained a cult following since its release, despite the film bombed at the box office, it still would become a cult classic and has been considered by a number of critics as an example of the weird Western subgenre. Let's begin the story. Set in the year 2176, Mars has been 85% terraformed, giving the planet an Earth like atmosphere. Martian society has become matriarchal, matriarchal. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Centering on the city of Chryse, Chryse, with smaller outposts connected by an expansive network of trains. In the wake of a series of mysterious incidents, police officer Melanie Ballard is called before a tribunal to give testimony following a disastrous mission to the remote mining outpost Cheyenne Canyon to retrieve convicted felon James Desolation Williams, of which she is apparently the sole survivor. Through a series of flashbacks and flashbacks within flashbacks as new perspectives are incorporated into the narrative, Ballard recounts details of the mission. Accompanied by Commanding Officer Helena Braddock, Cocky Sergeant Jericho Butler, and rookie officers Bashira Kincaid and Michael Descanso, excuse me. Ballard arrives at Cheyenne Canyon to find the town seemingly deserted. Investigating the local jail, Bragg discovers a trio of individuals who appear to have sealed themselves into one of the cells, among them Science Officer Dr. Arlene Whitlock. Ballard and Butler find a number of disoriented miners and the convict Williams, who has escaped. The group are attacked by several of the miners, causing Ballard and Williams to band together and incapacitate them. Ballard is forced to shoot and kill one of them, causing the affliction to be passed on to one of the three survivors. Butler, venturing out to the edge of town in pursuit of one of the feral miners, discovers a row of severed heads mounted onto spikes, including the head of Commander Braddock, and a large assembly in the canyon below, committing horrific acts of self mutilation and ritualistic execution. Friends of Williams arrive and force Ballard and Butler to release him. While they originally plan on leaving the officers and remaining miners to die, Ballard convinces them to work together to survive. Their initial effort to escape is halted when the army of feral miners converge on their position, killing and injuring, plus infecting several of them. Confronted by Ballard, Whitlock eventually explains that she fled from her post after discovering an ancient underground vault created by an extinct Martian civilization. When the door to the vault was open, it released hostile spirits or ghosts, which took possession of the workers, causing their violent behavior. Killing a possessed human merely releases the Martian spirit to possess another host. Ballard surmises that these Martian spirits believe humans to be an invading race. Ballard is briefly possessed until Butler feeds her hallucinogenic drug. I'm getting to hallucinogenic drug. I'm sorry, which forces the Martian spirit to leave her body. Sorry, I got a little tongue tied there on that bit. My apologies. Now I'm going to give you the warning real quickly. You got 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below to avoid hearing the ending of this. As I count down now, if you have seen this, continue. Okay, you've been warned. The group are forced to flee as the possessed workers breach the jail, leaving only Ballard, Williams, Butler, Kincaid, and Whitlock left alive. While they are able to make it to the train, Ballard realizes that they have a duty to exterminate the Martian threat and decide to return to Shining Canyon to overload the outpost's nuclear power plant, assuming that the ensuing atomic blast will vaporize the spirits. While they are able to initiate the meltdown, Whitlock is possessed, while Butler, Kincaid, and the 2 train operators are killed. Boarding the train, the 2 watch as the army is engulfed in the explosion. Williams tends to Ballard's wounds. Unwilling to face the authorities, he handcuffs Ballard to her cot and leaves. She moves to shoot him, but realizes her respect for him and lets him escape. Resting after her tribunal, Ballard is woken by an alert that the sea is under attack. Realizing their attempt to destroy the spirits failed, she raises herself to face the onslaught alone until she is greeted by Williams, who hands her a weapon. The 2 agree to fight their way out of the sea together. End of story. So what did I think of John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars? Well, I'm going to tell you, this is easily a guilty pleasure of mine from 2001. I kind of love this movie. This film's awesome and very underrated and what have you. Well, despite it bombed at the box office, I still feel like it was, excuse me, pretty cool though. Because I've never actually seen, well, much of horror in space, much completely, because I wasn't getting into that. Not yet, anyway. I especially like the last bit between, well, Ballard and Williams as he hands her the gun, and it's like, tide is up, time to stay alive. And as they head down and head on out, Williams is like, if you ever want to join the other side, you make one hell of a crook. And Ballard's like, you'd make one hell of a cop. Well, he's like, nah. Nate. And so Williams is like, let's just kick some ass. And Ballard's like, it's what we do best. And that's how we see the movie fade out. And that was the last bell lines. That's always one of the best parts I like about this and what have you. Shoot. I am going to say, I really liked um, what this film had to offer and what have you. Well, despite bombing at the box office, it gained a cult following since its release. Critics praised the action sequences, the blending of genres, and the John Carpenter soundtrack, which, let me tell you, is badass. Seriously. Anywho, I really thought this was awesome, though. While Rotten Tomatoes has a mere 23%, they're saying it's not one of Carpenter's better movies, filled as it is with bad dialogue, bad acting, confusing flashbacks, and scenes that are more campy than scary. Well, yes and no. I don't mind the acting. I thought the acting was fine, Whitey. The dialogue was good, just like what I'd said in the last few lines. Yeah, flashbacks can be a little baffling at times and stuff like that. But nevertheless, I still found it to be pretty awesome. Metacritic has it at a score of 35, while CinemaScore gave this a mere C minus. However, of some good reviews, the Chicago Sun-Times said this film delivers on its chosen level, and Roger Ebert, who gave this review, said he enjoyed it, but he wondered why so many sci-fi films turn into extended exercises in blasting aliens. This is an instance where it works. Richard Roper actually liked it too, saying, "Is it stupid? Certainly. I think that's the point. Carpenter is a smart man, and he knows exactly what he's doing. I miss seeing campy action flicks like this at the drive-in." Certainly, I agree. However, Ice Cube was very critical on this, and that he don't like that movie. I'm a big fan of John Carpenter, and the only reason I did was because he directed, but they really didn't have the money to pull the special effects off. However, Natasha Henstridge was more fond of it, saying, "I love the experience of making the film. It was just brilliant," and said, "I really loved making the film because I'd just had a young kid and now I get to train all the time and do all this kickboxing, martial arts, and all of that. And being a chick action star is pretty cool. It's pretty kick ass. That part of it, I loved it. That part was pretty awesome." She also enjoyed working with Mr. Carpenter, saying she loved him, said that he was a hoot, and, well, has a great sense of humor, a great guy. Enough said on that. Which, of course, Henstridge would actually go on to appear in another cult classic type series. Well, I said series. The TV series She Spies, which I believe, if memory serves me, came out like the following year, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Now, of course, she recently appeared in the first two installments of the Species films. While responding to the criticism towards the film, Carpenter said he was intentionally trying to make the film as over the top and tongue in cheek as possible. He claimed he was trying to make a mindless and still yet highly entertaining and thrilling action flick where the universe allows its characters and plot points to be silly without becoming full fledged comedies, akin to 80s movies like Commando, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, and Predator. Well, looking back on the film and its criticism, he stated he was frustrated that most people thought the film was meant to be a serious horror movie and feels that he should have made the film more openly comedic and in on the joke, saying, "I have no power over what critics say. But when people complained about the movie being campy and not scary, the name of the movie is Ghosts of Mars. I figured the campiness would be self explanatory." Well, I appreciate he was standing up for these this here film, and I do appreciate it. I don't care what they say. I love this movie. I thought the atmosphere looked really cool. The action sequences were awesome, and as I've said, Carpenter's score was badass. I thought his direction was good. So was his story, which he co-wrote with Larry Sulkis. So gotta give credit for that. Now I like Natasha Henstridge's performance as Melanie Ballard. She was so awesome. Ice Cube was good, despite what he had to say about the film, but he was awesome as Desolation Williams. I liked him. Jason Statham played Sergeant Jericho Butler, and yeah, I really liked him. Yes, which actually this was actually the second film I saw him in. Yeah, because I forgot I saw him in the film Snatch as well. And after this, he also did another film that tanked at the box office, and that was the one with Jet Li. Yeah, Clea Duvall plays Bashira Kincaid. I really liked her performance. Her death was pretty. Yeah, well, you'll see when you see that, okay? Pam Grier as Helena Bragg, not too bad. We don't get to see much of her, though. You'll see what. hamster when you see it. Joanna Cassidy played Dr. Arlene Whitlock. She was good. Liam Wade played Officer Michael Descanso. I thought he was good. And as Desolation's compadres, as he calls them, Dwayne Davis played Una Williams, Lobo Sebastian as Dos, and Ronnie Grant as Trace. Yeah, I thought those names were pretty darn awesome. Anyway, so the cast isn't too bad. So anyway, the cast is not too bad. The atmosphere was good. The direction wasn't too bad. But I think it was also the blending of genres that I really was taken over by. You know, space western with a little bit of action horror blended in. That's what made this superb. And uh, and it's badass soundtrack by John Carpenter himself. Awesome. This unfortunately would be Carpenter's last film until he returned with The Ward 9 years later, which I haven't seen, but I've heard of it though. And again, this film bombed at the box office. It made only a mere 14 million against its $28 million budget. So things look bad for that. But anyway, with everything said, I can defend this film big time. So would I recommend John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars? Well, to be lying on this, I'd say sure, go ahead, give it a try. Or if you're scared you might not like this much, then I'd say give it a one-time watch. So I'm gonna call it a draw between sure, go ahead, and give it a one-time watch. So it's a draw. So, what did you think of John Carpenter's Ghost of Mars? Let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, consider clicking the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Continue to help support my channel, make it grow, and make the views grow. Join me next time when I bring to you a review of Insidious Chapter 2. So, if you enjoy this, check out my reviews of these other films that Mr. Carpenter did that also have a little sci-fi feel to them. Actually, all three of these do. In the upper left-hand corner is my review of The Thing from 1982. Great movie with some horrifying elements. Or you can see my review of Carpenter's They Live, which that's a really underrated film. Or you can go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my review of his 1981 film with action and thrills and what have you in the form of Escape from New York. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.